my god, music these days is like so lame. I can't listen to the radio without cringing my big tits off. I wish someone would take it back to the old school. Oh my dynamite, yes I'll get wild. Blowing up the scene like a freaking missile. Quick hit the deck so here comes the pressure. Sounds so ill, better call the health inspector. People of the world, people all over the nation. This is my jam, yes I bring a good vibration. Lyric education, I'm elevating the ratings. It's blatant, I'm painting the shape of this great innovation. I'm making way. Step up on the scene, fresh like grass when the grass is green. Start the commercial, I'll be the master. Sword in the stone, I'm the new King Arthur. Could I get a minute to finish this pinnacle of music? Use it with blues and then use it carefully, please don't abuse it. Lose it like a mental patient, schizophrenic conversation. Hi Ren, my name is Ren, nice to meet you. Oh that's great man. I got what you want, I got what you need. Old school cakes with a new school twist, banging on my MP3. I got what you need, I got what you want. A vintage classic, bounce like elastic, old school song.
Devastating words like a whirlpool, tough like a turtle.
I rock a whole room without a single rehearsal. Face turn purple, blowing off steam. I glow like Christmas, watch me gleam. Come out the blue like a shark attack. I got you in my drawers, how you gonna react? When I snap my trap, I crack your back flat. I biggity 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 snap my trap. Jump in, jump out, shake it all about. New to the sound now, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down, sit the fuck down. I'm king like Kong, so pass me the crown. I'm Wogsing, Julius like Caesar.
Oh, what is going on, guys? What is happening? What is shaking? What is doing? What is going on out here in podcast land? Hello, peeps, ladies, gentlemen, fish, I don't know, donkeys, horses, pugs, whatever you are out there. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. This is Craft Conversations, and I'm glad you're here, really. What do we have up front there? Well, we had new guy I'm into. His name is Ren, R-E-N, and that was a song called What You Want. Throwback to like the Beastie Boys, right? I mean, let me back out just a little bit here. I think I'm a little too far in, too close, too near. How's that? Does that look good? What we got over here? I got a side view going on over here. I got a front view right there. I've got, let's see what we got going on over here. We'll do a selfie. There we go. Got a selfie view going on over here. And then we got this. We got the computer going on over here. So what are we going to do? Well, first off, we're going to try and fucking warm up because for some reason, my trailer right now is I'm not getting any warmth in the trailer. The fan cuts on, the blower blows, but I'm not getting any heat. I went outside just a minute ago and I changed the propane tanks. I got two propane tanks in the front, 20-pound, propane tanks. And one was definitely empty, so I switched it to the other that was full, turned the heat back on, and I still got no hot air blowing out of my fucking vents right now. So I don't know what is going on, but so if you see my nipples get hard, they're actually kind of hard right now. If you see them get even harder, that's because it's a little chilly in here. I don't have. You know what I need to do? I need to put like one of those little things right here that has the humidity and the barometric pressure and the temperature, the fucking time, whatever. And just put everything right here, over there, somewhere where I can keep track of what's going on. But it's a little chilly in here, but we're going to do it. We're going to do a podcast. Speaking of that, well, first off, let's open this beer because I'm thirsty. This is the, let's go here. This is the Atomic Torpedo from Sierra Nevada. It is a juicy West Coast double IPA, or what they call a DIPA. It's 19.2 fluid ounces. It is 8.2 ABV on the scale. We're going to look it up. It's up here on Untapped already. I got it. So the Atomic Torpedo It's IPA Imperial Double. I've never checked it in before. It's got 50 IBUs, or International Bittering Units. It's got an average rating of 3.89. ABV, like I said, alcohol by volume is 8.2%. Atomic Torpedo is our East Coast, West Coast hop collision. So they collided, unleashing the joint power of two styles. So you got a juicy East Coast IPA style, and you got a dank, hoppy, bitter West Coast IPA style fused in this double IPA. Their hop flavors span lush fruit, sticky pine, floral tones. It's our classic IPA transformed. Soft yet assertive, approachable yet atomic. So that's what we're going to drink. I got it right here. I'm going to pop it open. I meant to get a glass so you could see the pour, but I did not. But that's okay. Let's see if we can share a pour with you. Maybe you heard that on the mic. I'm not sure. Got a little bit of foam in there, a little bit of head. Head is good. That's what he said. We'll let that calm down a minute. So, what's been going on, guys? We're supposed to be the Paul, Deb, and Amanda Pietrofeso podcast. It was going to be my first ever with 4 people in the studio. This is my studio, I guess, the Craft Conversations travel trailer studio. I guess. I haven't really got an official name for it, but Craft Conversations from the Road, I guess, is what I was calling it. But so, yeah, we were supposed to do a podcast today. I got an email this morning at about 10:02 in the AM that my brother Kevin sent to me, my younger brother Kevin, said that his lovely wife Susan had COVID. So, of course, we were together New Year's Eve, or Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. Yesterday we had dinner over there, my mom and dad and us. And apparently she picked up COVID from somewhere, so she tested positive today. As soon as I got that, I messaged Paul and Deb and said, hey, look, this is what's going on. I've got a negative test. I tested. I'm negative. But this is what's going on. You know, my brother tested positive, his wife, tested positive. So what do you think we want to do? I'm negative. Do you want me to come over? Do you still want to do the podcast? And they were not real keen on it. So we're going to skip it for today. This is actually the 3rd time we've had to abandon the podcast. First time I had to cancel. Second time Paul and Deb had to cancel. 3rd time, I guess it was kind of a mutual cancel today. But so we're going to get together eventually and do this podcast. But it's not going to be tonight. It's not going to be today. As a matter of fact, we would have been doing it. What time is it? 6 o'clock. We would have been done with it by now. But so I decided, why not just do a little update podcast by myself and just say hello to you folks. It's been a while, man. I don't even know. Let me check out the podcast here. Let's see what's going on. It's been a while since I posted anything podcast-wise on here. Let's see if I can figure it out. So how was you guys' Christmas? Was it good? Did you have a good time? Did you have fun? Did anybody else catch COVID out there? If you did, let me know in the comments and discuss and see what you did to remedy it, whatever. But, yeah, it's going around, man. There's a lot of flu. There's a lot of COVID going around. RSV, which I think is the respiratory something. RSV, respiratory. Is it RVS, RSV? I can't remember what the hell the name of it is, but the flu, the COVID thing, the R something is going around. So there's like 3 different things, the trifecta of things that are going around and affecting people this holiday season. But, you know, people are still getting together. I don't know. People might be dying. People might be having a real hard time, but we're all together, man, you know. And if we die together, we come in together, we die together, we live together, we do everything together, then it's all together. I don't even know what I was saying right there, but What was I gonna check out? I was gonna check out fuck. I've already forgot. Oh my God, what was I gonna check out? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've got some notes here on the computer. Again, that was Ren up front. I found that guy a couple nights ago. He put out a new music video called Ren High Ren, and it's basically this dude in kind of like a mental institution type scenario in a room. He's in there in a wheelchair, and he is basically singing a song, and he's got two personalities. So he's got Ren, and then he's got the other Ren, the double personality, dual personality Ren. So it's kind of a back and forth between the two personalities on this acoustic guitar, and it's really fantastic. I loved it. I can't get enough of it. I've downloaded it to my phone. I play it in the car. I've played it multiple times on the computer, and it's just a fun song, man. So I started looking at more of his songs. He's a British guy. Irish, British, what the fuck is he? I don't even know what he is. I haven't looked him up and dove into his whole story, but I believe he talks about Patty. What does he talk about? I believe he's Irish. So I'm not sure exactly where he is, but I love it. So I decided to find a song that I thought was apropos for this podcast. Didn't really have any significant meaning to it, but when I saw it, I said, oh man, that's classic Beastie Boys. And I loved Beastie Boys when I was in the 80s, back when I was in the Casual Crew gang. And Beastie Boys was some of our main songs that we used to run around to, kind of post breakdancing days that I had, with Run DMC and Big Daddy Kane and some of these other Marley Marr, NC Lights, and all these early kind of pre-Beastie Boys rap groups, R&B groups, not R&B groups, but rap groups that we used to breakdance to at the Galaxy skating rink and other places. We go out. The Port City Breakers is what we were called there in North Charleston. And the Beastie Boys kind of came along a little bit later, kind of after that era was winding down, and we kind of got into our gang phase, which was the Casual Crew, along with the DBL, the Down by Law, the Bugle Boys, the New Breed, a bunch of different local North Charleston gangs that we had going on. So I don't know. I thought it was a fun song. I thought it was fun. I thought it was something that you could dance to, that was funky, nostalgic, I guess. So anyway, we were supposed to do a podcast tonight with Paul, Deborah, and Amanda, all the Pietrofesos of the Pietrofeso family. We were going to do it at Paul and Deb's house. And once I told them that my sister-in-law had COVID, that I've been exposed possibly, they said, let's just reschedule. So not a big deal, but, there's a lot of people that would not be afraid of COVID. There's a lot of people that would have said, come on over, man. Don't worry about it. COVID's not a thing anyways. It's been widely debunked. It's a pandemic, as they say, and don't even worry about it because it's not really even a thing. Blah, blah, blah. Even if those people hadn't been vaccinated, or if they had been vaccinated, they would say, fuck it. Come on over. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. COVID is not a big deal. But I think we know it is, right? I mean, it's killed a bunch of people. And it probably would have killed even more without the vaccine. And it probably would have killed even less if more people would have gotten vaccinated early on to stop the morphing of the vaccine. If everybody would have, maybe during the initial vaccine or the initial virus and the Delta variant that came along afterwards, that was a little heavier hitting. If everybody would have maybe got vaccinated, if we could have got to 65, 70, 75, 80% vaccinated nationwide and possibly worldwide, probably, maybe we can only speculate. We can only go by the science of what they would have predicted, that these newer variants maybe would not have mutated. They would not have come about, and we wouldn't have had to worry about a new variant that now we've got no immunity to, So, but, hindsight is 2020, right? I mean, we can look back and we say, well, what if we would have done this, or what if we would have done this? Well, we're done with the what ifs. We're now into the what now type scenario. So what do we do now? How do we move us forward? How do we get a handle on this, the flu epidemic, which has been going on for decades, and we still haven't figured out a way to do a one dose, inoculation to the flu. Now we've also got to figure out, and I think if we can figure out the flu, or if we can figure out the COVID, I think both of those will fall in line with each other. If we could figure out one, we'll have an answer for both of those things, maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical, I'm not a PhD. I'm not an MD. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a biochem guy. I do have significant training in physical and occupational therapy. I do a lot of my own research, my own medical research through different publications and peer-reviewed studies and those type things. I'm constantly educating myself and trying to keep up with the science and with the medicine and stay on the cutting edge of things. So we're going to get there. We're going to figure it out. We haven't figured it out yet. I mean, we've been on this earth millions, the earth has been around millions and millions and millions of years, and there's been a lot of life. But as far as humankind goes, and us trying to figure out ways to battle different viruses and bacteria and things like that, we haven't figured it out. We figured out and squashed a lot of things, but there's still a lot of things out there that we have yet to encounter. And there's stuff that we've encountered that we've yet to figure out how to handle. So, I mean, we're basically sitting here, we're a ball of cells and bacteria, and we've got our own biodiversity. We've got our own universe inside our body. There's the universe, the mass universe out there in the sky. There's a local universe within the vicinity that you're in. There's your own universe that's within close proximity to you. There's the universe that's within your body. So you've got to figure out how to manage all those different cells and bacteria and viruses and mutations and I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that goes into it, man. So, we're going to sit here and say, fucking Dr. Fauci, he had no clue what he's doing, and he killed a bunch of people, and he hates America, and he doesn't care about life. I mean, give me a fucking break. His entire job is his entire job over the last half century has been to help humankind. So, I don't know. Let's not get off on a tangent on that. So, I don't even know what I was going to talk about. Let's drink a little bit of drink. So, Atomic Torpedo. Cheers, guys. Juicy West Coast, East Coast collaboration IPA. That's fucking fantastic. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it on the camera right here, but I've got some smoke, some condensation coming out of my mouth right now because it's a little chilly in here. I got to figure out once I switched those propane tanks why my heat is not picking up here in the trailer. My heat, my pilot light is not cutting on to produce heat here in the trailer. I don't know why. It just happened once I switched that propane tank, so I got to figure it out. But we'll be okay. We're not going to die. We're not going to die out here. Got plenty of blankets and jackets and all kind of stuff to stay warm. But we'll figure the heat thing out here eventually as well. What else is going on? We just had Christmas. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's coming up. we'll go here. Let's see what's going on here. We had Christmas Eve over here at my parents' house. This year we decided that my parents, my brothers and I decided, my parents, we're not going to lift a finger this year. Normally, they're fixing something. Usually they do the ham or the turkey or the roast beef or whatever meat we're going to have and a couple sides, and they slave all day in the kitchen. I'm sorry, I shouldn't use the word slave, but they work all day in the kitchen and sweat and do a lot of things. And my younger brother Kevin emailed one day and said, "Hey, look, let's all get together and let's decide that we're going to pull together all the food and the arrangements and do Christmas Eve this year without the parents having to lift a finger." They're both 78 years old, and we wanted them to relax. They've done enough Christmases their entire life, a lot. If you're looking at 20 years old, when they first had my older brother, or 22 or whatever, however old they were when they had my older brother. I mean, they've been doing this fucking thing for 60 something years, 65 years. Putting together Christmases and dinners and gifts and making sure everybody was happy and satisfied and having a good time. So we decided we're going to do that this year ourselves and release the burden off of them and do it. So we had a good time. My uncle came over, my mom's brother. He came over. He lives in Andrews, South Carolina. So he came over. And then we had both my brothers, their families, myself, my mom and dad. Of course, all the dogs were there. Leia was there. My parents' two dogs, Lucas and Simon. So it was a packed house, and we had a great time. And then my younger brother and his wife, Susan, said they were going to have a dinner over at their house if anybody wanted to come over. So my parents and I decided we'd go over and partake in that. So we did that yesterday. So. Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good Christmas. I mean, it was pretty low key, like the last couple have been. My oldest son is down in Sun City, Arizona, with his wife, Megan, and they're down visiting his in-laws, Bill and Ellen, down there in Sun City, and they had a great time with all the fam down there and everybody that's going on down in Sun City. My youngest son, God damn, I can't keep everybody straight. He was supposed to meet in Sun City and do Christmas with my son Brian and all those people there, but he decided, I guess he had another offer that some friends of his were up on the East Coast, Northeast, and he got some free plane tickets to kind of bounce back and forth to get over there, and then to bounce back and forth between 3 different states and some different houses. We're going to stay with some friends, so he didn't have any expenses that was going on, hotels, travel, those type things. So he traveled on over to D.C., spun out there for a little while. I think he might have just left there, if he's even leaving there. Because here's the deal. He was supposed to call me on Christmas Eve. He was supposed to call me on Christmas Day. Hadn't called me yet. Haven't heard from him. I've texted back and forth twice, maybe. Christmas Eve, I called him, and I didn't even hear back from him until 7 hours later. So I really don't know what he's doing, but he was supposed to go to D.C., and then he was supposed to travel over to Philly and stay with some friends over there, and he was supposed to travel from there to New York City, and he's going to do the ball drop and all that kind of stuff with a buddy of his, old ex-roommate of his that graduated the same time he did this past May, that went out to New York City and got a job. So he's going to visit Seth, and they were going to hang out for the ball drop. So I don't know exactly where he is right now. He's either in D.C. or Philly, and then he'll eventually end up in New York City. So, man, I didn't get to spend any time with either one of those guys this year, but hopefully I'm going to get out west here very shortly, maybe after the new year, hit the road here in the trailer, the truck, blaze out to the West Coast and hit Arizona, Nevada, California, Washington, all those places out there, and just see what's going on. But wouldn't want to do it right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the weather out there is just insane. There was, a whole shitload of stuff going on the West Coast, starting in the northern California area, and then they went up into, It was up into Seattle and the Washington area, and then it's kind of rolled across the United States, and then it ended up over in the Northeast and, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, over into New York and Tennessee and a bunch of different places, and just, man, it's been rough. I mean, it's been blizzard-like conditions. Some of the biggest, most powerful storms that have been around almost ever, like in Buffalo, New York, in some places. So some rough times going on out there. I hope everybody's being safe, and any of my friends and acquaintances that are up in those areas and some of the areas that have been hit hard. I hope you're okay. I hope you got power. I hope you got heat. I hope you're warm. I hope you're with friends and family. You're not stranded somewhere, and you're still alive. I mean, it's just, man, people are dying. People are freezing. People have no power. It's crazy. They're calling it, maybe the next ice age is coming. Who knows what's going on, but it's crazy out there right now. You know what I've loved to have talked about all these things with, Paul and Deb, and specifically, especially Amanda. I think we would have had a great time. I sat up the last 2 nights trying to go to sleep and was just racking my brain. I couldn't even go to sleep. I couldn't even fall asleep. I was up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to think about how am I going to set the camera angles up. And I hope everything's charged like it's supposed to be charged and nothing dies and all the batteries stay, up to where they're supposed to be. And I hope that we can hook up and all the stuff, like I got hooked up right now, that I think is working. I think nothing's freezing at the moment, but I was hoping that everything was going to stay connected and we would have no frozen videos and there was nothing that was going to drop, and that the mics were all going to sound good. It was going to be the first time that I was running 4 different microphones, for 4 different people. The most we've ever done is 3 people, I think, on a podcast. But that was when we had, the full studio there at Craft Conversation Studio at the Zen Garden. And we had, a board and real condenser mics and all this kind of stuff, full time. I was going to have 4 different lavalier mics, all of us mic'd up with 4 different mics. And, I don't know. I'm really disappointed, really. But I get it. I understand. But I was really looking forward to it. Like I said, the last 2 nights, it's kept me up at night, just trying to figure out how I was going to do everything and what we were going to talk about, and if I was going to feel good and what I was going to wear. I made sure I was wearing a couple things. I was trying to advertise a couple things. Matter of fact, let's talk about that for a second. So if we go over here to the Edisto Blackwater Boogie, that's the shirt I got on, if you've seen it. Edisto Blackwater Boogie was fantastic. This was the 3rd year that they've done it, and it's basically they've got 3 stages out there at the Givan State Park, and they do live music 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Vendors, beer trucks, all this kind of stuff, music, porta potties. You go out there, you can camp, RV, all these type things. So if you look at the website here, the biggest thing that's come up here lately is it's time to nominate for the Best of Charleston 2023. So if you go to this website, if you go to Edisto Blackwater Boogie on Instagram, you can find this website here, the Best of Charleston City Paper. And when you go there, you come on to here, and at the front page, actually, let's go back. So if I go back here and I copy this, and then if I was to open a new site and I was to post that into it, this is what you come up to first. So you paste that in there, you open up the website. It's going to bring you right here. So you can, best place to see local music. You write in your thing. We'll skip that. Best recording studio, best rock music club, best trivia night. I think they got best coffee shop, best of everything. So if you go into culture, arts, and entertainments, maybe. I haven't even done this yet. I was getting into this and I didn't. So, it's the best drag show. Nice. Local actor, artists, best local podcast. Why am I not in there? Let's see. Write my nomination. I'm going to write my name in there. Craft Conversations. Oh, it's making me sign in. Fuck it. But anyway, you can go here. You go there. Vote for Edisto Blackwater Boogie. And if you want to, write my name in for Craft Conversations for the best podcast. Yeah, so that's that. Mr. Dan Riley runs this thing and some other people involved, but it was kind of his dream, and he put it together, and he found all the vendors and the supporters and the donors and all that kind of stuff to make this thing run. So it's going to be the fourth one coming up here next year. I was a part of it this year, a sponsor, and hopefully I'm going to get even more involved the next year that this thing comes along. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I got this hat on here. Where am I at? Songs to the Unsung. So my buddy Eric Barnett runs Songs to the Unsung, and he's been posting a lot of the podcasts that he's done here recently. So get on there and take a look. Go to Songs to the Unsung on Instagram. Go ahead and follow him and like some of his posts. He posted something earlier today. Said there's been a ton of fantastic music released this year. And these were his, what did he say, top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's 12 albums on here that he said he loved them. Albums he listened to for this year. A lot of friends that I've had on the podcast and that he's had on the podcast, and then some other various people as well. But like Mike Friend, Dan Riley, Ron Daniel, Roger Minewater, those guys I've had on my podcast, and he's had on his as well. But so anyway, there's those guys that you can go out and take a look at and like, share, listen to, download, whatever you want to do with it. So that's fun. And that's what I wanted to do on the podcast with Pietrofeso today, was just kind of showcase the boogie, showcase Songs of the Unsung, and just give some love out there to everybody, while hopefully they give some love to this podcast. So what else, guys? It's kind of impromptu, just trying to give you guys something, because I wasn't able to do the thing I wanted to today. So, oh man, possibility when my uncle came over for Christmas Eve. We've been talking back and forth for a couple of different reasons. I'll tell you why. But for one reason, he had applied to do the Mississippi River paddle before I did. He applied about 2 years prior to me, and I gave him the information. I said, hey, look, this would be something right up your alley, because he's a sailor. He's lived on a sailboat forever. He's a boater. He was in the Navy. So a lot of different reasons that I think he would be perfect for it, or he would have been perfect for it. So he applied for the Warrior Expeditions Mississippi River paddle. Did not get selected, which is, a lot of people don't get selected. It's 400 people that applied per year, and about 40 people get selected. So 10%. Of course, I got selected 2 years later and did the Mississippi River. He has done the Great Loop one time before. Let me see if I can pull that up. I can't remember when, way back in his youth, I guess, but he's decided that he is going to do the Great Loop once again. He just turned, on December 7th, I think he turned 75 or 76. I'm not sure. One of those two things. But he wants to do the Great Loop again. And he's asked me to maybe do some of it with him. So if I pull up, let's see if I can find the map here. So if I pull up the map, I don't know, I can't fucking pull it up. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up, but I have not pulled it up yet. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of the Great Loop. Let's see what this looks like. I'll take a look. So the Great Loop pretty much goes. Man, I can't can't get a full fucking map to pull up. Let's see what this thing does if I expand it. You can kind of get an idea, right? I mean, if we're here, if he's up here in the northern part of South Carolina, he's going to dump in here. The Great Loop goes around, and if you're not watching, I apologize. Just look up the Great Loop on your Google or whatever search engine you want to use, and just take a look at it. But kind of comes up through here. He'll leave in South Carolina, go up the loop, the coast, go through the Erie Canal here in New York, kind of come up. It goes up almost to the border of Canada, and then kind of goes through the Great Lakes, and then comes down, eventually hooks into the Mississippi River, goes down all the way back to the Gulf, and then comes around over the Horn of, the leg of Florida. Anyway, what my plan is, or what the plan is I may, if I'm around, because there's a few different things. I'm going to go over a couple of different, options here. A couple of different things going on. But if I'm around, if I'm not doing anything, if I have the time, my plan is to possibly meet him up around the Hudson River there in New York. Two rivers make up the Erie Canal. And it's like 351 miles, I think, of rivers. But I would meet him, and he's going to be my support boat. And I would bring my canoe that I used, for the Mississippi River. He would be my support boat, and we would both kind of go, and I would paddle, and he would support me and give me whatever I needed. And then when I would stop for the night, we'd either camp off the boat or we'd camp, in the boat, or a combination of the two or whatever. And we'd go, and I would do the entire Erie Canal. And then I would hitch a ride or get a ride back to wherever my car was, and I'd be done for that. And he would continue the loop. At one time, we had discussed that I would do the entire Great Loop with him, but he's talking about a year worth of time doing this Great Loop. And I said, man, I don't know if I have a year's worth to sit on a boat with you. I love you to death, and you're a great guy, and you're related to me and those type things. But I'm not sure I want to do a year on a boat with just you and me and a couple dogs. But so anyway, that might be coming up. I might do the Erie Canal, a little bit of that, and do some paddling here coming up in the spring, late spring, early summer. Now, what's going to maybe make that not happen? Well, I may possibly, hopefully, if things work out, and I want to do an episode eventually and explain why I'm still sitting here in South Carolina, and I'm not traveling the United States like I should be in my travel trailer here, but I'm not ready to discuss those particulars, those specifics right now. But there's a great possibility that within the next month, hopefully, I'll be able to hit the road, and I'm going to start traveling back out west again. So if that happens, I might not be here on the East Coast to do the Great Loop portion that I want to do. I might be out west doing some different things out there. So that's one possibility that might keep me from doing the Great Loop section. The second thing is, I possibly, maybe, I don't know, it's a thought. I thought about it 4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago at this point, but there's a possibility I might run for the mayor of Somerville. Some things that have to happen before I can do that. Right now, my residency that I currently claim here in South Carolina, even though I don't have a legitimate residency anywhere. That's the whole point of living in a travel trailer. But my legal residence right now is not in the city of Somerville. So in order to run for mayor, you have to be, number one, you have to be registered to vote within South Carolina. Number two, you have to be a resident of the city of Somerville. At the moment, I am not currently residing within the city. So some things that could possibly happen. Probably the thing that would happen if I definitely decided that I was going to make a run, and this might happen regardless. But I've got a good buddy of mine that has offered to give me a lease agreement and let me stay within his yard and claim his address as my residence for the state of South Carolina, the city of Somerville. And that would put me within the city, and then I would be qualified to run for the mayor. So that's something. So between maybe hitting the road, going back out west, and maybe running for the mayor of Somerville, there's a couple of reasons that I may or may not be going on this great loop trip, or a portion of the trip. So, yeah. So you got that. What else I got? I already talked about the Songs of the Unsung podcast. I'm looking at my notes here on the computer. Well, already talked about the Edisto Boogie in the city paper. Go on there and vote vote for the best coffee place, Coastal Coffee Roasters. Vote for the best music venue or event, or I can't remember what the actual category is. Let's take a look here. It's nominate Edisto Blackwater Boogie for the best place to see local music. So you got Blackwater Boogie, Coastal Coffee would be another thing I would vote for. I don't even know what else is in the categories. What else you can vote for. So go to City Paper, charlestoncitypaper.com, and do all the voting you can, and take a look at Somerville. If you're some of my Somerville, West Ashley friends, I think you know what to do. Vote for some of these people that support local music and support podcasts and support me and support you guys and support all of us. And let's make a big push to do a big Somerville. Let's get everybody in Somerville nominated. Get everybody in Somerville the award this year. How about that? I think that'll be great, and I would love to see that. So, what else? Man, it's cold out here. I got to figure out this fucking heat thing, man. I don't know why that pilot light is not coming on and heating the trailer like it's supposed to. There's something out there at the propane tank level that is not switching over from one tank to the other, because when I had it on the other tank, it was running fine. That tank is empty. I switched the switch over and I opened up the tank on the other side, and it's not heating. I don't know why, but. All right. Well, we're 42 minutes in. We haven't talked about a whole lot. I don't know. But I love all you guys. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you had a great time with friends, family, siblings, loved ones, kids, your pets, everybody. That everybody had the best time. Ate all the food that you wanted to eat, and you got all the politics out of the way and religion. You had all the fun conversations. You did all that stuff, and that you're looking forward to the new year. Hope you're staying warm. I hope everybody has heat and power and electricity and gas and all those things. I look forward to one day when we don't have to worry about these issues, that everybody is in some sort of dome, that just you're protected at all times, no matter what the weather is doing outside. And we're going to get there. We're going to make the world a better place as we go along, as we have for the thousands of years that we've been here so far. And we've made improvements and made lives better. And in some ways, we've made lives suck, But I think for the most part, in general, we've made lives better over time, And this is the best time to be alive ever in history. Even though we have some bad weather patterns going on right now. We have some people that have died from COVID, and we've had a pandemic, and we've had some inflation going on. We've had some gas prices going up, and a lot more encounters at the border, and there's all kinds of things going on that just it's cyclical. Things happen in cycles, and it's been going on since the beginning of time. And I don't think that right now is any worse than any other time in history. And I think the biggest thing right now is that we have more information at our fingertips than we've ever had in the past. So used to be we just knew what was happening within our tribe, within our 10 people tribe or our 50 people tribe, or just in our local area. We had no clue what was going on 10 miles down the road, much less across on the other side of the fucking world. And now we know what's going on in every inch, every corner, every nook and cranny of the world. And there's a lot of stuff that happens within every nook and cranny that when you add all those together, it looks like a massive weight that's on our shoulders. And it looks like it's a massive problem. And it's a massive pandemic that the world is going to end and that things are just about to destruct. But really, it's nothing that hasn't been going on the entire time humans have inhabited the earth. It's just, we see it all now. So put those blinders on, turn off your Instagram, turn off your Facebook and your Twitter and your Truth Social and your TikTok and get off of those things and you won't see. And what's that thing they always said, right? What you don't know can't hurt you, right? So if you don't know about it, you don't worry about it. So don't know about it is what I say. I keep up with it, but everybody's different, right? I mean, everybody has a different way of dealing with adversity or tragedy or greatness or anything really. Everybody has a different way of dealing with everything. Everybody is, even though we all look alike, we kind of act alike, we kind of have similar DNA and biology. We're all certainly different. Even two twins aren't the same. That pretty much share almost identically everything. They're still not the same. So how, if those two people aren't the same, how can you expect any other human to be the same? We're all biologically different. We all are affected different, whether it be, I could eat a whole fucking tub of peanuts and somebody else could eat one or just be exposed to some dust from a fucking peanut and they're dead. I could eat a whole fucking tub of peanuts, a whole goddamn peanuts for fucking a week, and I'm good to go. I might have some stomach distress, maybe get constipated a little bit, but I'm not gonna die. So we're all different. Everybody reacts different to the COVID vaccine. Everybody reacts different to COVID itself. Everybody reacts different to the flu. Everybody reacts different to seasonal allergies. I can get bit by a bee on my cheek and I'll swell up out to here. Somebody else can get bit. It's a little tiny sting and nobody gives a fuck. But so we're all different. We all react differently. We can't expect everybody to be the same. We sit out there and judge people and things and animals and bugs and all these things all the time. And, we're no better than anybody else. We're no better than a fruit fly. We're no better than a goddamn armadillo. We're all just living our life. We're living our version of life. And we all have our own brain, whether it's big, whether it's small, whether it's whatever. We all have our own goals of what we're supposed to be doing, whether it's an ant, their entire life is supposed to be just mating and supposed to be building an anthill and being workers. I don't know what I'm saying, but there are bazillions of different life forms on this earth. And we are stupid and naive and arrogant to think that we are the only beings on this earth that matter. Take care of each other. Take care of the animals around you. Take care of the bugs. Take care of the birds, the fish. Now, if you need to eat, if you need to survive, if you need to live, yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And the rest of the animal kingdom does that as well. But in general, the majority of us, and I'm talking about the entire animal kingdom, bugs, whatever, we normally all just get along, Let's do that. Let's vow in the year 2023 that we're all going to love each other a little more. We're all going to be more compassionate about other animals, other beings, other plants, arthropods, fish, reptiles, whatever. Let's all live on this earth together, and let's thrive, and let's live in harmony like we used to do. All right. Oh, I've gotten too deep. We're 50 minutes in. I think I'm going to call it. I love you guys. Man, it's been a long time. I need to do this more often. I used to do this once a week. Sometimes, at one point, it was twice a week. And I need to do this more often because it really makes me think a little bit. It gets some stuff off my chest. It lets me express some of my thoughts and ideas and get them out of my head. And hopefully it helps somebody out there, you know. I'm not sure how many people are listening and watching and sharing these days, but if you are, I appreciate it. Go to all the platforms. You got YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple iTunes, wherever you can find this podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, do whatever. Just, you know, show some love, and let's help get the word out there that we're all together in this. And I know me personally, I want to see, and I don't even know why I said that, me personally. Me. If I say me, you know, it's personal, right? It's me. So I know, for me, I want to see everybody get along. I want to see everybody thrive. I want to see everybody successful. I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody live a long life. And we can all do that together. We just love each other, really. That's all it takes. Let's love each other. And I love you guys. And I'll talk to you soon.